Hello? Yes, of course I'm all right. Who? Nigel Bruce? Yes, send him in.
What's the matter, Andy?
I was weightlifting. We wrote about weightlifting last week. I thought I'd try it. It's not too difficult.
Well, come on then. Show me how you do it.
No, I've done my exercises for today. It's silly to do too much.
Well, I've come to say goodbye. I'll see you in a month.
Goodbye. A month? Where are you going?
Bermuda.
Am I sending you to Bermuda?
No, you aren't. I'm getting married this afternoon. We're going to Bermuda for our honeymoon.
Well, you didn't tell me.
Yes, I did.
Who's the unlucky girl?
Betty, I told you.
Oh, the photographer?
Yes.
No.
What do you mean, no?
You are going to Loch Ness in Scotland.
Loch Ness?
Yes. I had a letter from a man who says he's seen the Loch Ness monster.
Oh, rubbish. There's no monster in Loch Ness or anywhere.
He says there is. He sent this photograph.
It's not clear at all. It could be anything.
Well, McTavish, that's the man's name. He says he's seen it. Nigel, if anyone can find the Loch Ness monster, it's you. Think of it. The man who found the Loch Ness monster. And think of the money.
What money?
If you find the monster, I'll give you an extra £1,000.
Well, it sounds good. I'll talk to Betty about it.
Oh, look, Nigel, if you go up to Scotland, I'll pay for everything. Your honeymoon will be free. You get £1,000 and a wonderful story.
And if I don't go?
You haven't got a job.
Beautiful. But it isn't Bermuda.
But we're together. I'm always happy when I'm with you.
And I'm happy when I'm with you. Where are we?
We're lost.
Well, are somebody?
There's no one for miles.
What about those sheep?
We can't run a sheep the way to Loch Ness.
Where there are sheep, there's a shepherd.
Right. Let's find him.
The map says we're here or here.
But which road must we take?
Well, both roads go to Loch Ness.
Well, we'll know when we get to the loch.
Oh.
We'll get wet when we fall in. Where are we staying?
That Roundtree Cottage. It's just outside the village of Inverness. Mr. McTavish's daughter rents it to tourists on the holiday season.
McTavish? Is he the man that says he's seen the monster?
Yes.
Well, I hope the monster's really there. And I hope Inverness there too. This is it. I think it's a cottage, all right. And there's the Roundtree.
It looks spooky.
Well, they tell strange stories about the round tree. Well, they're not true, of course.
Oh. Hello? Is there anybody there?
Oh, something smells good.
Yes, I think it's roast pork. It is. How wonderful. But who's it for?
It's for us. There's a note here on the table. It says, "Dear Mr. and Mrs. Bruce, I know you've had a long journey, so I've cooked you a meal. Yours, Fiona McTavish."
How kind.
Oh, there's more. If you go for a walk after dinner, be careful. The cottage is right next to the loch. That was wonderful. Oh, gosh, I'm tired. Are you ready for bed?
What about the washing up?
Oh, we'll do that in the morning. And after all, it is our wedding night.
All right. What was that? Was that you?
Oh, I thought it was...
It's a Loch Ness monster.
Are you the foreigners?
Certainly not. We're English.
That's what I mean. You are the foreigners from London, and you've come to see Nessie.
Yes. Are you Mr. McTavish?
Aye, but there's no time for that. I've seen her in the loch.
The monster?
Aye, Nessie, she's out there.
Is that what we heard?
No, that was me. Quick, follow me.
But it's dark out there. You can't see a thing.
But you can see her eyes. Come on. Look there! There she is! Where? There, man, can't you see? Look at her great eyes!
McTavish, it's...
Ah! Ah, ow.
Nigel! Are you all right, Nigel?
I fell into the loch.
But did you see the monster?
No, it was the headlights of a car on the other side of the loch.
It was a mistake anybody could make. Well, I'll say good night to you two young people. After all, it is your wedding night.
Hello. You're Fiona McTavish. I'm Betty, and this is Nigel.
Oh, yes. You're the honeymoon couple.
We don't always dress like this.
No, of course not. Oh, would you like a cup of tea?
No, we had breakfast earlier.
In bed.
Nigel fell into the loch last night.
Yes, Father told me. Of course, he's a little strange at times. He says he's seen Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. A lot of people say they've seen it.
Well, that's why we're here. I'm a newspaper reporter and my wife's a photographer. My boss is sure there's something in the loch and he wants us to find out what it is and take photographs.
That's why we've got these on. We're going to look for it. Nessie, that is.
Underwater?
Yes.
Well, that explains all that. I wondered what it was for.
Well, come on. The sooner we find Nessie, the sooner we can go to Bermuda. And that'll be our real honeymoon.
A lot of honeymoon couples stay here. It's so quiet.
Yes. Well, come on, Betty. Let's go.
You didn't have any luck then?
No, we didn't have time to look everywhere. We'll try again tomorrow.
As soon as you finish your meal, I'll go. Honeymooners like to be alone.
Do you believe in the monster, Fiona?
Me? Well, no, I've never seen it. But there are a lot of people who have, or who think they have. Like my father.
I've seen her again. Today, in daylight, with my own eyes.
Today? But we were on the loch today, and we saw nothing.
Are you sure, Father?
Of course I'm sure. I saw her as clearly as I can see you. She was long and black, with great yellow fins on her back. I've never seen her so clearly. She's at least 20 meters long.
We were there too, and we didn't see anything.
But you don't know where to look. I live in these parts. You come out with me tomorrow, and I'll show you.
Right, agreed. Darling, perhaps we're going to be lucky.
She was long and black, like this. With great yellow fins and huge flappers, and she was moving towards me.
Do you really think that McTavish saw the Loch Ness Monster?
Father? Well, I'm not saying he did see it, and I'm not saying he didn't see it. All I can tell you is that during the last few years, he thinks that he's seen Nessie lots of times.
But does he really see her?
Well, you see that rock over there?
Yes.
One day, he thought that was the monster. And then, there was a dead cow in the loch once. He thought that was the monster. And then he thought a motorboat was Nessie, and a free log floating in the water, and a lot of other things. He thinks that everything he sees is the Loch Ness Monster.
I see. So perhaps what he saw yesterday was not the monster at all.
Well, he can't see very well. It could have been anything.
But it could have been Nessie.
Oh, it could. I'm not saying it couldn't.
I like your father. I know he's a bit strange, and that he's an old man, and that he can't see very well. But I hope he really has seen the Loch Ness Monster.
I hope that we see the monster and we can take a photograph of it and get back to London soon.
Ah, here comes Mr. McTavish.
Mr. McTavish, is this where you saw the monster yesterday?
Yes. I was just here and I saw this awful monster. Over there.
We've been here for over 2 hours now.
This is not a dog. She won't come when you call.
I'll start with the chicken leg.
Would you pass me a ham sandwich?
Mr. McTavish, you take this. If you see anything, press this button and it takes pictures automatically.
Oh, I know how to use a camera, lassie. You leave it to me. If I see Nessie, I'll take a photograph of her.
Good. Well, here we go.
Nessie, where are you? Is that her? Ah, it's you, Mr. Bruce. Have you seen her? It's her! It's Nessie! Ha ha ha! Ha ha!
Well, I'm sorry you've had a wasted journey. Honestly, Father, that is the limit. How could you possibly mistake Nigel and Betty for the Loch Ness Monster?
Well, anybody can make a mistake. I hope I didn't ruin your camera.
No, it's waterproof. Never mind. Even if we didn't see the Loch Ness Monster, we had a marvellous time.
Speak for yourself. Well, goodbye, and thanks for everything. You know, I think we did find the Loch Ness Monster.
What?
Yes, it's McTavish. My wife Betty and I went to Loch Ness in Scotland to take photographs of Nessie, the famous Loch Ness Monster.
We drove from London to Loch Ness. That's more than 550 miles. We got to Inverness at night and found Rowan Tree Cottage.
Then this strange man, McTavish, came in and said he'd seen the monster.
Then Nigel went out to look and fell into the loch. The next morning, we went into the loch to look for Nessie.
McTavish thought we were the monster.
And then he fell into the loch.
Then Clyde, our boss, arrived in Scotland.
Then we all waited another week for the monster.
Are you enjoying your honeymoon?
Don't be funny, Andy.
No, I mean it. It's beautiful here in Scotland.
Yes, it is beautiful. You do want to spend your honeymoon with your strange old Scotsman and your boss.
We want to be alone.
Well, you can go as soon as we've got a really good photograph of the monster.
I thought you were happy with the photograph McTavish took.
Well, yes, but it isn't very clear.
I don't think there is a monster.
But you can see it in the photograph.
Hundreds of people think they've seen the monster,
And they've taken photographs of it.
but it was always something else.
Well, look, there's McTavish. And he's seen something.
It's her! It's Nessie!
Look, he's seen her.
He always does that.
Get a camera. Get a camera. Where is she, McTavish? Where is she?
You go and help Andy. I'll help McTavish.
I've made you lunch for your journey.
Thank you, Fiona. That's very kind.
Oh, you're welcome. I've made enough sandwiches for all three of you. Mr. Clyde is going with you, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Well, he's made friends with Mr. McTavish.
Well, they're both the same. They're both mad. Andy! Come on, we're going! Come on.
I'm sorry you didn't see the monster, Mr. Clyde.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It was nice to meet you, Mr. McTavish.
It's been fun. I enjoyed looking for Nessie.
Andy! Come on, we're going!
Goodbye, Hamish.
Goodbye, Andy. Oh, well, I suppose there isn't a monster. Nessie, it's you.